heard that. Boing, clink, I hope. Why, he just throws those things right down on the ground. Boom.
Nope.
Oh, you don't want to get too
Yeah,
far.
okay, we're all right. Oh, okay.
See, this thing is the end of the camera, so you good.
All right. Well, hello again. This is Bob Morin.
And Mary Ann Morin?
And this is the More Stuff Show.
Yes, it is. Good morning, good afternoon, or good night. I was gonna say.
We start out.
What time are we watching?
Well, nobody knows because we're on tape. We do these shows sequentially in the same day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we cut them up, we get one reel of tape,
Mm-hmm.
we fill it up with a couple shows, 2 or 3 shows,
Mm-hmm.
and then we split it up into 20-minute shows, 15-minute shows or so.
It varies.
Yeah. And that way we only have to shoot, we don't have to shoot every week.
Right, sometimes we have company.
Yeah.
And we don't want to be doing this when we have company.
So let's make a couple shows in a row,
Mm-hmm.
3 shows in a row. And then we got 3 weeks worth 3 weeks worth of shows of done.
Done. Of done shows.
And I'm not ever going to dub out mistakes
No.
because it takes too much time.
Yes, so after you get the tape, what's next? What do you do next?
After I get the tape,
Yes, this is digital, right? You're using a digital camera. So then you have to take it home and put it on your computer.
yes,
Mm-hmm. And then you have to put the background in.
yes.
Is there any other things you have to do?
What am I doing? What's the global thing?
Finally, to get this on
To get this
Channel
product
5.
on television?
Yes.
Oh, yes. You brought up a subject that I want to rage
Avoid.
about.
Oh.
I have a pet peeve of
Wow.
people not appreciating how much effort goes into things.
Oh.
Like, just go do a movie, Bob.
Yeah.
Could you just do a movie for me? 10 minutes. Like, it takes 10 minutes to make a 10-minute movie.
Yes.
A certain percentage,
understand.
we have a varied population in this country.
Mm-hmm.
We have it's a montage, very wide range of personalities and intelligences. But we have a significant number of people in this country who have holes in their head.
Well.
They really do.
Yes.
Just empty spaces there.
Where brains
And they appear so normal. You can't tell they're holes in their head.
Well, they might be not just holes in their head, but they might be just full of themselves.
But what I'm saying is, somebody says it takes 10 minutes to make a 10-minute movie.
Right. And that's not so.
And you know what? It's like everything. They say, I remember my art teacher when I was in 7th grade.
Mm-hmm.
He explained this concept to me, which I already understood when I was in 7th grade. He says some people wanted him to do portraits for them.
A whole portrait.
Like for $5.
Yeah. Yes. I understand this.
For $5. Do an oil painting for me for $5. And I got it right away.
Yeah, I understood. Even way back then.
Yeah, there are people like that. And so I remember him saying the story that the client wanted a big, wide thing. I don't know how many, how big portrait is.
Huge portrait.
Maybe by 3 feet by 2 feet or
stairway
something.
Or something.
So Mr. What was his name? Cavano?
Yeah, I was going to say that.
You know where he ended up moving?
To Endicott.
No, that place I can't remember now. But I know where it is. It was up here on Route 17.
Near Binghamton.
Near a little bit past Binghamton, right next to Waverly. But anyway, that's where he moved.
There.
I said, change the subject. See, when you get old, you get like this. You just random jump from one thought to another. But anyway, Mr. Cavano's client said, well, how about if you do just a little one for me for $5? Just no concept. Like it takes less time or less money to make a little one than a big one. Like somebody says, it's less time and less expensive to make a 10-minute movie than a 2-hour.
Yeah.
Like there's, like it depends on the length of the movie.
Yeah.
There's no, and I bet you, they do the same thing to music people.
Yeah.
Can you come and just sing a song for us? We're putting on so can you come and sing a song for us?
Or can you play at our wedding?
Yeah, come and play
Play
something
piano,
for
yeah.
us. Like there's nothing to it. They just don't get it.
There's a prep time, a thinking time,
Yeah.
getting all your supplies working until practicing time.
Yeah.
This is just for video making. I don't even know what it takes to do an oil painting, but it takes all that time to get all of the different pieces have to be checked out. You wouldn't jump out of an airplane with a parachute that you didn't inspect and you didn't know every piece by name. So if you're going to make a movie, you need to know if everything works.
Well, there are people say, write up a poem for me, would you? Get it for me in a half an hour.
Well, I had to write an article for a newspaper for publicity, and I worked on that for days and days and days because you had to have a hook, you had to have a way of putting it.
When was this?
And it just didn't come, and it didn't come.
Was this in college or?
No, this was recently, in recent days. I've got it written now, but I never did send it in yet. But the thing it is,
an ad for something.
It was a PR publicity, but you just can't snap it up and get it out and write it up and type it up and have it be good.
Yeah,
it takes some thinking and.
I know. Yeah. It's like somebody asked an art friend of mine who's an artist, and they wanted this guy, the artist, to make a logo up for him.
Ah, yes.
He was going to give him $20.
Yeah. I'll tell you what.
What are they thinking? I'll give you $20 to design a logo for me.
Yeah.
Oh.
Were they trying to teach you about how to stretch your money, how to be wise economically? Was somebody trying to teach you a lesson on how to handle money? And
No,
this
wasn't me. It was somebody else. Somebody
I don't know what they're
professional.
Thinking. Yeah. They ask somebody who really knows how to do something.
Okay,
it makes it look easy.
Oh, nothing to it.
But it isn't
just
easy.
do it.
And it isn't cheap. It isn't cheap. It costs a lot of money to gather together all.
Well, I'm sure all professionals run into that. I'm sure computer techs have it. Somebody come in and say, "Can you fix my computer?" I'll give you $5 an hour, $10 an hour to fix it.
Well, doctors, they walk into the restaurant and 12 people ask them, "What's wrong with my health?" What's wrong? No. So they want for free some expert advice.
For free, yeah. Well.
So there are people with holes in their heads.
Well, I know for making videos, 10 years ago, to make a 30-second commercial was $300. That was 10 years ago.
To make one?
And that's in a rural area like this. 30 seconds, $300. $350 actually. That was 10 years ago.
Yeah, now to broadcast or air a 30-second commercial sometimes costs a couple of $1 million.
Oh, well, yeah.
So what does the guy get who made it?
Yeah.
How much money does he get, the guy who made that?
So if you're a businessman, you want a commercial for your business, it's going to cost you some money.
Yeah, it should.
And, but some guys, you're lucky if you can get somebody who's just starting in the business, and it's just you might get something now for $500. I'm sure somebody will be willing to give you a break.
Well, I just don't know. Locally, it's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
Advertising locally.
Well, I was the venom I wanted to.
That was it.
But
don't ever ask anybody to do something an hour from now if you want it done well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or if you want them to say yes.
Change the subject. Want to do religion? Or
what
politics?
do you do about religion or politics?
Well, to make something, we don't want to talk about flowers. Well, anything we talk about could be interesting. We could talk about flowers.
Another one.
Religion?
These are all things you'd have to talk
Well,
by yourself for a long time.
I have a religion question, multiple choice question.
Oh, okay.
Do you know about evolution?
Yes, I do. I've heard of it.
Right.
I hear tell of evolution.
Evolution?
Yeah.
Multiple choice question.
Yes.
Evolution has proven that A, men come from monkeys. B, monkeys come from men. C, anybody who talks about evolution is crazy.
Is that it? A,
yeah,
B, or C?
Yeah, A, B, or C.
Well, you rule out the middle. I didn't know you got A or C. Let's see. A or C. So I'm going to go with the A. It's my opinion.
I was kind of ruminating about things like that, asking some, because I'm online lately.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe when this is aired, I'm still online. I get into things for a period of time. And I get to deal with a wide range of people because you're on the internet.
Uh-huh.
And there's a very wide spectrum. See, in Schuyler County, we're kind of protected. We have a limited range of personalities and philosophies and perceptions about
just
life.
Too few people.
But you go on the internet and you meet some different approaches to things.
Yes. Different ages, different countries,
and
different cultures,
different responses to situations.
Different values.
I get a lot of, and I engage these people. I engage
You mean
them.
you egg them on, or do you mean you engage them?
I engage them, and sometimes I push a little to get some stimulation going. Well, I like doing that, but I don't do it as much as I used to.
Yes.
Don't do it as much as I used to because you can hurt people's feelings. But now, see, I forgot the thread of where I'm going here.
So you were going to tell us something.
Yes, I was going to tell something.
Something that you talked about online, I guess. Religious-wise, and you had asked me the evolution.
Right, the different range. So you get to how people are thinking about things. And I like to interject a thought that might be controversial, but it gets them to think a little bit.
Okay.
So that's why I asked you the question about evolution.
You wanted to interject a thought.
Well, no, because I'm really, I guess, subconsciously thinking of that range of people that are outside our normal scope.
So tell us what some of your
and that's still on my mind, some of those people I've been dealing with. So, another thing is, here's another multiple choice question.
Okay.
At the Last Supper.
Yes.
After Judas left, how many were left at the table? A. 12. B. 13.
Okay.
No, let's do it the other way. No. A is 11. Okay.
Okay, 11.
This is after Judas. B is 12.
12, yeah. And C?
C is 13. And 14 is...
D. Let me guess.
No. D is... I don't know.
Oh, none of the above?
Yeah, I don't know.
I would never pick D.
Oh, because you do know? Well, after Judas left, were there 11, 12, 13, or I don't know?
Well, I'm going to guess.
Wait a minute.
You don't want me to answer?
No, because it's a trick question.
Oh.
Because the sinners around Jesus, how many does he count? See, he was God, and he was man.
But he was only one person.
Oh, well, yes. Okay, that's the controversy. But I didn't finish that thought. I didn't finish because you're half asleep when you ruminate about different things.
So
But
you
religion-
were just ruminating about that.
Yeah, as a possibility to bring that up. Is,
Well, so then, given what I believe about the person,
yeah.
then the answer is easy.
What would you say?
That there were 13 in the first place, and Judas left, so that left you with 12.
Yeah.
Plus all the women
Yeah.
waiting hand and foot on.
But they don't mention the women.
We didn't mention even the women.
I don't know if they
even
were
mention
allowed. Maybe it was
They
a
made
men's
it,
club.
but they were not even allowed, huh?
Could have been a men's, but no, I don't think so. They didn't have a men's. Well, they did.
Somebody had to make all that.
Pasta.
I was going to say on a bread or whatever it was they were breaking and sharing.
Yeah.
Somebody poured the wine,
Oh.
toted it in and toted it out and cleared off the table.
Mm.
Somebody set that up.
Yeah. Something. Well, don't know where to go now.
Yeah, no more religious thoughts. Have you seen the movie?
You're talking about Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson's movie.
Yeah, that's going to be a classic.
The Passion. What's it called?
The Passion of Christ.
Is that the name? The Passion of the Christ.
Yeah, but you know, all you have to do is say Mel Gibson,
Everybody knows what you're talking about.
because that was everybody was seeing that because it's the socially in thing to do. Because if you go to a dinner theater, I mean a dinner with your friends, socializing with a group of friends, they're all talking about the movie. And if you haven't seen it, you're left out.
Right.
So what you do is, if you've got a dinner date, the first thing you have to do is go out and see this movie first.
Oh boy, yeah. So you want to be able to.
So
talk
you can
about
talk about it, because it's very controversial. I don't know, I know why, because it's different. And it's about religion. So almost anything about religion is controversial. Yeah, I saw it.
Well, if he called it the Passion of Christ, that means he believes in Jesus Christ. But if he called it the Passion of the Christ, that might have a different meaning. I don't know. Anyway, you have to look at every piece of it and every word said in it, or you could just blank your mind to the actual factual words that are in the Bible and think of it as a reminder of what happened to Jesus Christ. But for me, they left out a mighty important piece.
The mighty important piece.
This movie is about the Passion, and he made no bones about it, and he didn't tell much else.
Yeah,
Besides
right.
the Passion.
It's about the suffering of Christ.
So in our Catholic Church, that would be the readings from Good Friday during Holy Week.
Holy Week.
Yeah. And it would not include Easter. It would not
Right.
include the
Passion
resurrection.
is not part of Easter.
So it left out a mighty big chunk of my belief system.
You could make another movie about the resurrection.
Yeah, but you should have had a little something in this movie.
There was.
I'm thinking,
there
well, it
was.
was an arty schmarty something at the very end, last second.
Right. It was very brief.
Yes.
A brief hint of resurrection.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I did not like that part.
Well, the whole
Could've been
movie
bigger.
was. I didn't think of it till just now. It was stunning. Stunning in that, you know what you mean when you're stunned? You're kind of like frozen.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what happened to me.
Oh.
Because I was kind of stunned and don't know what to think about it. Because it really wasn't like watching a movie. We go see a movie and there's a certain sense of entertainment and enjoyment and relaxation or excitement. But I didn't get any of that watching this Gibson movie.
Well, it's mind-boggling to see people with huge popcorns and huge sodas going into the movie theater. Like you could even eat while you were watching this.
No, it wasn't. You don't want.
So I don't think people were ready for what they.
Yeah,
really
I wouldn't be doing popcorn. I don't do popcorn and soda anyway.
I know,
But
they certainly
I don't know how
weren't
somebody
ready for
could do
something
that.
else.
Popcorn and soda while
Yes.
you're watching this.
It's more like a prayer. Or you could use it as an opportunity.
Well,
for
the prayer was too. I was too stunned to be praying. It was more like a religious service.
Well,
It was definitely a religious.
Well, that's what's the difference between
Yeah, I'm going to use a
prayer.
cliche. I'm going to use a cliche, but in a broad sense, it's like a religious experience. It certainly is thought provoking, but it's stunning. That's what it is. It's stunning.
Well, I read that the people who were Christians that go to this, who do not think of this Christ in this way a lot in their services, they don't have Christ on their crucifixes. They don't have these readings that dwell upon the Passion of Christ and Lent. They don't have the same kind of Lent. They don't have retreats where you sit and ponder. In college, that's what we did. We had retreats on the Passion, where everybody had to be silent and just think about these different things that happened to Christ. I mean, I had all the words memorized of Christ's last words on the cross. So Catholic Church dwells upon that.
Well, not excessively, though. There's a balance. There's a balance.
Well, they have the Stations of the Cross decorating the church.
But I said not excessively.
And the Rosary.
Yes.
Where you meditate upon the Passion.
Well, I'm agreeing. What I'm saying is, to get this, see if I'm hearing you, that there are some religions,
some Christian religions,
that do not highlight the suffering of life and the necessity of a cross in order to get to salvation.
So,
there's no way to get to salvation without the cross. And that is what needs more reflection, I think. It's not all, I'm born again, everything is cool, I'm in. We each have our cross. Everybody's got their own cross, which is a horrible thing that they have to carry, a burden that they have. And to ignore that,
I think.
It's a terrible mistake. So that's why the church, which is the origin of Scripture, the Bible, that's another thing. A lot of people just talk about the Bible and not the church. The church originated the Bible. Christ instituted the church with its authority. And from that comes the Bible. The Bible is a collection of holy scriptures that the church ordained to be the Bible. And so
that's where the story comes
And the
from.
church does teach the Passion.
Yes.
It can't be ignored.
So the article that I read said that all of those Christians who kind of downplay the Passion go to this movie and are stunned. Like you said your experience. I'm surprised you had that experience.
Well,
we already knew the story. So stunned, I was not stunned. It's like revisiting the same story that I have known.
Well, maybe you've
told
experienced it more. Maybe you've experienced and reflected on it more over your life than I have.
Maybe. Yeah. So that was one comment. And the other comment that people have is that it's just too violent in parts. Too violent. And it was. I agree with that.
Well, if you want to criticize, yes. But we don't, well, again.
I don't want to spoil it for anybody.
But too violent. Well, if for a movie, it's too violent. But we don't know the reality of that passion because we weren't there to actually see it. And what we have is our documents, Scripture. We have documents of what happened. And those documents were written decades after the event itself. So to portray that, it's the problem every historian has. Every historical movie maker has the same problem of getting the facts, historical facts from as many sources as possible, and then recreating that for a modern day audience several hundred, in this case, thousands of years later. How similar are the situations? Well, obviously, they're not going to be near 100% similar or exact.
All right.
So you say, to what degree is the pain and punishment reflected accuracy? We don't know the level of accuracy.
Right. We don't know that.
We do know that there was suffering and death.
You know what else we know? They used a computer to create the violence. So it couldn't have been real.
Yeah, I didn't believe
It was
it was not
computerized.
believable. The scourging at the pillar was not believable.
That was the part. Yeah,
It was because a human. I don't believe. It was not believable for me that because I don't believe a human would have survived that type of scourging. Just would not have survived. Would have died right there.
The article that I was reading said that it was the Mel Gibson part of the movie where it was like, what's the name of the hit movies he makes?
Braveheart.
Braveheart was one. But that Lethal Weapon.
Lethal Weapons is bloody, gory, blow 'em up stuff.
And the difference here being that in his Lethal Weapon movies, the hero gets to rise up in the end, vanquish his enemies, he wins hands down, and everybody gets defeated. Well, we didn't see that part of the Passion of Christ.
Well, that's
the resurrection part.
Well, wait a minute now. When an artist does his work, you can see Van Gogh. You look at a painting, say that's Van Gogh.
Cross your eyes and
you look at that painting, you say Rembrandt.
Yes.
You look at this movie, Mel Gibson.
Yes, exactly.
That's nothing wrong. I don't have any problem with that.
Okay.
That's the style of the artist.
What he sees and what
he does what he wants.
But I thought he was true to the story in general.
Sure.
That was pretty accurate. He just stayed with the. There are a few parts that I never heard of, but that was very brief.
What's that?
A few parts I never heard of. I never read in the Bible.
I never read those few wait parts. A minute. You read the Bible. You go to church.
Yeah.
To Mass.
Yeah.
Every week. And during the week occasionally, the Bible is read at every service.
Yes.
And it's done, the whole Bible is read over a 3-year cycle.
Yes.
The entire Bible is read to the congregation.
Yes. And?
So you say you don't read the Bible.
No, I said there are parts in this movie that were not in the Bible. Like a soldier bumps Jesus, he falls over a bridge, he dangles from a bungee rope, and he's hanging there, and he looks under the bridge.
But wait a minute, the documents, well, you don't know. See, the documents that record these events are incomplete.
Yes, so let's make up stuff and put it in there.
Well, why? That's every historical movie that happens in every historical movie.
Yes.
You have different props there in the movie that probably were not there in the real situation.
I'd say so.
In some movies in the old days when they did movies of Christ, he didn't have a beard.
Yeah.
So the accuracy is what we can do, and
So I think I did not wish to say that was not an accurate video or an accurate movie of the Passion of Christ. It was. It followed the story, but there were some poetic license taken. And I'll leave it at that.
Overall, they're gonna show it every Easter.
Every Lent or so.
Every this time of year, like they show Charlton Heston's movies and Victor Mature. They're going to show it. But now, to compare those movies of 30 years ago, I stopped watching them. Some of those. Because
they weren't real.
Because they were too old. The movies that were made 30 years ago, they were good 30 years ago, but now, or 40 years ago actually, but now you don't want to watch them because the quality of the story's good, but the movie style is so old that you don't want to watch it anymore. It's just old stuff.
Irrelevant.
Yeah, it's like watching the Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
It was good in its time, but Charlton Heston was good in its time, but now the stuff is better. So we'll watch Mel Gibson instead of Charlton Heston.
Well, I think he did a favor to religious people everywhere. Get people thinking about.
Yeah. Oh, gee.
There is goodness. There is evil.
You know, I'm getting to be more and more conservative.
Ooh, really?
That I can see the trouble that people are in. I'm on the internet, I say, talking about people who think differently from people in Schuyler County. A lot of these people are in deep trouble in terms of their identity of who they are, what type of moral character they are. I think people go on the internet, there's a different, something happens to them. I can't believe people behave on the internet the same way they do in real life. Because on the internet, you'll get some people that are so base, crude, vulgar, and have no sense of decency at all. And yet they're all over the place. And I don't mean just a few people, but the last few weeks that I've been on contacting and engaging people, there's a lot of sick people out there. I mean, spiritually sick.
Yeah,
they may have jobs. I don't know if they do or not. But there's a lot of sick people out there. And I'm thinking how lucky we are in Schuyler County. The weird people in Schuyler County are, I tell you, pretty healthy compared to the rest of the world.
What you say. Well, you know, did you ever watch professional wrestling on TV? And listen to their filth?
Yes.
And see how they behave towards one another?
Yeah, it's not fun anymore.
Or the hockey game where somebody attacks somebody from the rear and breaks his neck?
Yeah.
Or hits him with a stick? Oh.
Yeah, it's sad.
Well, you know, I see a red light beeping.
Yeah, well, we're done.
So that means...
We're done.
Goodbye, Casey.
Goodbye, have a good day. We're done.
Next
Bye-bye.
time. See ya.